Hi guys, right now I'm on my way to a campsite because tomorrow I'm visiting a few people, including the BBC, but more about that in another video. Tonight I am going to the campsite, but I'm not staying in a tent. I am staying in something far better. Now I don't just mean better, I mean secure, comfortable, luxurious. I'm introducing to you right now the future, the CamperLEAF. Can't believe I'm doing this. As you can see there, we have a double bed, complete with 2 pillows, and underneath a couple of duvets and inflatable mattress. Underneath that we have storage area for beverages and clothing. In the front we have more storage area and a living room with entertainment unit and charging facilities, as well as climate control configurations. As you can see, I'm ready for bed, or I'm going to get ready for bed soon, get undressed. Of course, the CamperLEAF comes with internal lighting. USB charging as well as 12 volt charging is standard. Now there are people out there right now in this campsite in their tents freezing their butts off because it's about 4 or 5 degrees at the moment. They're probably snuggling up tight in their sleeping bags. Well, as you can see here, I don't have to do that in the CamperLEAF. I can just press that button there for the climate control and leave it running all night if I wish. Even if I'm not plugged in to the campsite, if you're in the middle of the field, in the middle of anywhere, you can leave it running all night. You'll lose probably 6-7%, but that's a small price to pay for having a climate controlled environment in the middle of a field. Now, as you can see, I'm fully stretched out. Yep, my feet aren't quite touching the rear of the car yet. Granted, I'm not the tallest person in the world at 5'6½", I think. Although I suppose you could push the seats a bit further forward and get a bit extra length that way. Now this is kind of a beta test. There should be enough room for 2 in the back, and as I've done a little bit of test at home as well, in theory we should be able to fit a 3rd child, or should I say a 3rd person, which would be a child, across the front. So obviously you've got to have a gear stick in the Leaf. Here's a picture of the test that we did at home. So yes, folks, if this goes well tonight, and if I can persuade my wife, which it will probably take a bit of effort if I'm honest, then we are going to try the CamperLEAF experience with all 3 of us in the car, which is going to be cosy. Speaking of cosy, I have to say I'm very comfortable right now. It is probably worth pointing out as well that there's been quite a few people over there, and it's very wet outside, been raining quite a lot, putting tent up in a very wet, slightly muddy field, and it's taken them about an hour and a half, and wet through, miserable and all that. All I've done is just drive in. Simple as that. Drive in, plug the car in, inflate the bed, done. You know, sometimes I'm amazed by even my own genius. Got plenty of room. That is the entertainment unit over there, which is an optional extra on the CamperLEAF. Using the controls behind me, I've just set the climate control to a nice 19 degrees, which I think will be a good sleeping temperature, because I will be sandwiched between 2 duvets, which are of course very plush and will keep me warm. But just for my comfort, I think I will leave the climate control on all night. In the morning, if you want to see some of nature, of course, easily operated windows, so you can get close to the environment you're in. Now you can use the front of the Leaf as like a living room, eating area, and there's also, for the optional entertainment unit, a nice stand that Nissan have installed. So this is in the living room, and if you press that button there, you have a nice entertainment tablet stand for your enjoyment. I've decided to eat in the bedroom tonight rather than in the living room at the front. Now of course, if you are hungry, you don't have to walk anywhere or zip up the tent and secure it and then go and drive to a restaurant. You can just take your bed to the restaurant. Is there anything the CamperLEAF can't do? Now of course this begs the question, is it too late to have a donut? Oh, it's only 5 past midnight.
There's a few kinks to work out in what you do in the camper-LEAF. Spat all over the door. Now some of you are probably wondering what you do if you want to go to the toilet, of course. Now obviously I'm at a campsite so I can just use the toilets, but how do I get out of the leaf in the middle of the night, for example, like you would in a tent? I think I'll probably go this way as it's the closest to me. I'm going to need my shoes first. My shoes are in the footwell, so you'll have to bear with me on this one. I think I've just squashed my doorknob. Ow. Ow. Okay, I'm a little stuck. The storage compartments of the CamperLEAF are easily accessible from the bedroom area. Shoes on. And now you just do the reverse when you want to re-enter. I just slip my shoes off and come on. There we go. Yeah, easy. Now I think what we can take from that is that if there's going to be more than one person camper-leafing, you might want to try and get the toilet out of the way before you go to sleep. I think I better just secure the leaf from any intruders. Oh shit. That's not going to be popular. I'll just let on the horn. Hopefully no one will know it's me. I think I got away with that. I think the people in the caravan and caravan next door, I think they're still asleep. We're good, we're good. Forgot to mention you can also work in the camper-LEAF, of course, you know. Might do a little bit of video editing. I've realised that having the laptop on here actually means you can see my face much better, which so I apologise if some of the earlier footage is a little dark, but I've got a lot going on right now. Now you're probably wondering why I'm actually doing this, and it's not just for a stupid video or anything like that. Basically it's all about cost. I'll use the North Coast 500 as an example. It's probably the best route anywhere in the UK. The scenery is astonishing. I want to do it again because last time we only did it for a few days and it just wasn't enough. So I'm wanting to do it with my family this time, probably over 4 or 5 days. Now the trouble with that is that this wouldn't be our main holiday. We've got another holiday planned already, as well as several other trips. So, and just with the accommodation alone, you're probably looking at £400, £500, £600 for 4 or 5 days. So for that reason alone, really, just for the accommodation, it's just too expensive. We can't do it, especially as we've got things like kitchens and bathrooms and a Tesla to save up for. And as we don't have a camper van, then this kind of came into my mind as a possible idea. I've proven that you can actually physically fit people in, 3 of us. I've done that before at home, but whether or not you can actually sleep in it realistically and get a night's sleep, that's kind of what I'm doing now. Because it's free to charge in Scotland, the fuel to do the North Coast in well, an electric car, not just a Leaf, is £10 or £20. You could say, well, why don't you just take a tent? But I don't want to have to get all the tent out, then put it back again the next day, and then get it out and then put it back again the next day 4 or 5 times in a row. That would just be a nightmare. And also you can wild camp in Scotland as well, which basically means that in theory we can just pull over and stay somewhere. If we can stay in the Leaf, then accommodation is only whatever the campsite charges, or if we wild camp nothing, then you're looking at probably what, 15, maybe £20, something like that. So let's say £20 a night. So £100 for accommodation, 20 quid for fuel, £120. We've got a 5-day holiday. That for me is a bargain, and it's something we can do. So we can do the North Coast 500 all of a sudden if we can sleep in this. If we can't sleep in this, then we have to do it in a tent, which just isn't going to happen because I'm not going to do it, and we can't afford to stay in a hotel. So that's kind of how this came about, basically. However, if another full adult and my wife was here and my daughter was at the front, that it might not work. I admit that, but we'll test it at some point. Think of this as the beta test. Well, maybe the alpha test is probably more accurate, because there are a few kinks, as I've kind of figured out. And let's face it, if there's just you or you and your missus, why not? It's going to be a bit of an adventure. Can you imagine waking up to somewhere like that in the Scottish Highlands? That'd be amazing. I didn't wake anyone up when I leant on the horn. I don't think. I've not seen a load of locals with pitchforks or anything like that, so I think I'm alright. Well, I suppose I'll see you in the morning and report back, see how it goes.
Now imagine if right now I was parked up against the beach, or a mountain top, or a valley, basically somewhere with a really good view. This is what the CamperLEAF gives you when you wake up on a morning. I just replace this campsite with any vista you choose, and that's what you end up waking up to. Who could want more than that? As a Yorkshireman, it is my duty to try and get everything as cheap as possible, of course, and this, I think, for £13 has been an absolute bargain. I've had a good night's sleep, I've been comfortable and warm, I've got a great view. So would I be recommending we do this for me and the family? I think it's worth a night. I think for a night, for a bit of an adventure, especially for my daughter, she'd love that sort of thing, I'm sure. And if it means we can go somewhere that otherwise we couldn't, or we'd have to faff about with the tent, then why not? You know, it's gonna. I think my wife will have a harder time with it than me, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Well, maybe if we have a daddy-daughter time or a day out somewhere, this might be all we need. Right, let's get packed up. Let's see how long this one takes. And there we have the CamperLEAF back to normal leaf. Job done.
Sorry.